Welcome to Mother's Justice Show. Eddie Rye sitting in for Reverend Harriett Walden, who is this is her program. Want to thank her for giving up the time because she has always been in the struggle and leading the struggle. And she knows that what we're dealing with today is another one of those struggles. But we're going to start off. Everybody knows about the situation with the Seattle Black Firefighters Association, retired black firefighters, and some current black firefighters in the selling or attempting to sell. Hopefully, it hasn't been sold. But we're going to go to their attorney, Yohannes Sium, to give us an update on exactly where we are. And I also sent out, and I'm asking Stephanie Ogle to put up a picture of Superior Court Judge Josephine Wiggs and her ruling under that Clarence Williams passed on me to today, where you people can actually hear what the judge had to say. So, Yohannes, Attorney Sium, go right ahead.
As far as an update, last Friday, Judge Josephine Wiggs found the defendants in contempt. Just to be clear, we filed a motion to find them in contempt for illegally selling the house and excluding members like some of the folks that are on here today, like Clarence and Roberto and others. That was in direct violation of her judgment. She lambasted them with basically instructions on following the rule of law. So again, the legal finding was that they are in contempt of the judgment because they illegally sold this house and excluded the members. The judge also sanctioned them, saying that they have to pay us attorney's fees and do a cost and other things, producing documents and correspondence that they had related to this illegal sale and the exclusion of the members. We asked, that was on Friday. Again, it was on Friday. There's some news articles about that. On Saturday, the plaintiff in this case, my client, Erwin Chappelle, emailed the board, who again, the board is now in contempt, and asked them for an accounting of the money. Where's the $680,000? You know, this house didn't have a mortgage. Where's the cash? How much was paid in commission to the lawyer? And within a few minutes, he got a response from the treasurer. The treasurer didn't provide any details. What he did is just resign. And so we still don't know where the money.
Treasurer of the Seattle Black Firefighters Association resigned?
Yeah, the defendant. He's a defendant in the case. He's the treasurer of the Seattle Black Firefighters. His name is Hilton Jones. Part of what was awarded on Friday was my motion to compel the production of documents. You know, if you're a member of an organization, you get to see the books. You get to see where the money's at. You get to see, you know, the contract to sell the house. You're supposed to be able to see that. Well, of course, they gave us nothing. So we had to file a motion to compel it, and the judge granted that. As part of that, we were just asking where the money is. Can we just track where the money's at? And because we're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, over $600,000 cash. And again, they were held in contempt on Friday. And on Saturday, when we emailed them when Erwin emails the treasurer about, you know, giving accounting, you know, by law, so you have to give a written report, he resigns and says he doesn't give any details, just disappears. So we still don't know where that money is. You know, if the judge on February 25th is going to have a hearing to see if she can rescind the whole deal, because it was all contemptuous and based on a violation of her judgment. She's just trying to give the buyers a chance to respond. And as part of that, if the judge does rescind the deal, which we believe she wants to, then the money will have to be returned by these defendants. They can't just pocket it. They have to return the money. So they should tell us now where the money is.
So maybe that's why some people haven't been seen lately.
Yeah, they're laying low. I get it. But this is in the media. Again, I know I only got 5 minutes to just give a background, but I want to just highlight a couple more things. The judge in her granting of our motion for contempt and also our motion to enforce the judgment said that we get all documents related to the sale of this house, including all correspondence related to the sale of this house and the exclusion of members like Roberto and Clarence and other members. We get all that. So they haven't produced anything yet. We'll see what they produce. I think what they will produce will show that the buyer knew about this lawsuit. She's not ignorant. She's flipped, 300 properties, or I don't know. Her website says she's been involved in 300 different properties, and she's a real estate agent. She was a real estate agent on this deal, on this same deal. So, you know, we're asking basically the buyer to just do the right thing. You know, her and her attorneys, Mia Bernick, and Amantz Holmquist. Their firm is the Holmquist and Gardner firm. We're asking that they do the right thing. Don't be greedy. Just, you're obviously, if you're saying you didn't know anything, you're ignorant and you were tricked, okay, just get your money back, and walk away. And now that you know this is illegal and it's a historic property, just walk away. Don't be greedy. Don't try to flip a big profit here. Do the right thing. Same thing for the bank. The bank is that financed this deal. Turuk Capital Partners. Turuk Capital Partners. You'll see them appear. The attorney's been on. They have an attorney who came on weeks ago. His name is Mark Detzler. He's at Bosberg and Umlauf. They should do the right thing. They should just rescind this deal, give the property back to the rightful owners, get their money back, get their loan back, and walk away. They don't need to act in a greedy fashion, hide everything, and just say, oh, we were innocent, you can't rescind the deal.
All right, sir. That's Yohannes Sium, the attorney for the Seattle Black Firefighters. And I'm pleased to say that he didn't mention it, but I think I heard the judge say that you would be getting attorney's fees.
Yeah, that's part of the sanctions, part of the contempt. We're going to
Okay,
get
so
it.
that means I don't have to raise no more money.
Well, it's just related to the contempt. This has been I think
That's
she also
three
said
years
this has
worth of
been the
lawyer money,
most
man. That's quite a
litigious.
bit of change, man.
The judge said this has been one of the most litigious cases she has seen since she's been on the bench. We've had over 400 filings. We'll get attorney's fees for these motions to rescind the deal, but there's
Okay.
more, right?
Okay. Now Clarence Williams and Cardell Thompson are on plaintiffs in the case. Is that right?
Yeah, and so is
And
Erwin
Erwin
Chappelle.
Chappelle. And Erwin's not on, but I want to go to Clarence right now, who's also a past president of the Seattle Black Firefighters Association and the current president of the Northwest Association of Retired Black Firefighters or Retired Firefighters. Anyway, Clarence, go right ahead.
Thank you, Eddie. For those who don't know, I came into the fire department in 1968, retired in 1998, served 30 years, retired out of the fire marshal's office as a lieutenant. But along the way, back in 1968, we started the Seattle Black Firefighters Association for the purposes that has been enumerated here on this air. To be a landmark place for African American firefighters to do a lot of different things for itself and the community. And we have been going out of our way, honestly, to try and maintain this property and to try and keep it as a historical landmark for the city of Seattle. When the house needed some repairs early on, before any lawsuit was filed, before it ever went up for sale, we recognized that as retirees, and we came with a very generous offer, which we call a memorandum of understanding, that we would pay for half of all the repairs that needed to take place. We would pay for half of the taxes on the property every year. We would pay for half of all the utilities. There was no mortgage payment because the house is owned free and clear. And we presented that to this present executive board, and they rejected it out of hand. So it seemed like that was the
We just keep who put a name on the president. People need to know who the president and the executive board is.
Oh, yeah, that was Mr. Doug Johnson. The email went directly to him and to all of the members. So everybody received the memorandum of understanding. They never acted up on it. They let it die and would not. And right after that, we think it may have given them the impetus to move faster on a sale. After that, they went ahead and listed the house illegally at that time, even to sell it. And that's when we had to come in to file an action to stop the sale back in 2021 so that we didn't lose the property that was in question. So we've been,
Clarence,
yes, sir.
one point of clarification. The board kept the MOU to themselves. They never told the rest of the people about the MOU because they never told them about the sale. They never told them about the attempt to sell the house or anything else like that. Clarence's niece saw for sale sign sitting in front of the Black Firefighter house. Clarence told me, "Did you see the sign?" I said, "No." I drove up there. The sign was up there. I started calling all the other Black firefighters in the Seattle Fire Department. None of them knew that the house was for sale except the executive board. So I just want to make that clear. Carry on, Clarence.
Well, that, I want everybody to let people know that we're not on TV, so I can let people know that was Roberto Jordan, well, immediate past president of the Seattle Black Firefighters Association. Okay, Clarence. Then we're going to go to hear from Cardell. He's also
Yeah.
a planet, as well as I don't see Erwin Chappelle on as of yet. But Cardell, why don't you go ahead? Because I know that I talk to Charles Gill. Don Taylor is on the phone, and then Yohannes has to leave in a minute, so I want to hear from him as well. So Cardell Thompson.
Hello. Yes, Cardell Thompson. Got into the fire department January of 1984. I retired in April of 2023. So I did 39 years in the fire department, and I left as when I retired, I was working in the fire marshal's office in the engineering section, was a new construction inspector for the Seattle Fire Department. So, and everyone has pretty much said that our initial push was to keep the house from being illegally sold. That was the idea. When that first ruling came down, okay, we thought we had done that. That was what happened. The sale was, prohibited, and it was all the members were supposed to be members, and everyone was supposed to get notification. Well, as we can see through the paperwork from that day to this, that's not actually what happened, and that is how we are here where we are today.
Okay, I want to see Charles. I'm gonna come right back to you and back to you, Roberto. But Don Taylor is holding on the phone. So Don, I want you to go ahead now. I don't want your ear hurting. Go right ahead. Maybe Don Taylor hung up on us.
After Don, bring on Claude
Oh,
Harris.
that's Chief. I hear Chief Claude Harris. I guess Don is taking a break, but Eric, would you let me know if he clicks back in? So did I hear Chief Harris?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, this time I got to let this battalion chief go, and we're gonna come right to you because you got a long story to tell, Chief Harris. So,
No,
uh, Charles Battalion Chief, Deputy Chief Gill, go right ahead.
Okay, my name's Charles Gill. I entered the department in May of 1980 and retired in April of 2015. And I held the rank of deputy chief upon my retirement. I held the positions of treasurer of the Seattle Black Firefighters for several years, and I was president of the Seattle Black Firefighters prior to Roberto. And just happy that the judgment by the judge, what she did on Friday, was positive for us, the retired Black firefighters, and puts us on a path to correcting the injustice that has been served and what we went through for the last 4 years. So we're looking forward to moving forward and keeping this a historic piece of property to enhance minorities and involvement in the Seattle Fire Department, hiring in the Seattle Fire Department. Thank you.
Chief Harris, the very first Black firefighter to be hired by the Seattle Fire Department, and the very first Black Seattle Fire Chief. Did I lose Chief Harris already?
Yep. I came into the fire department January 5th, 1959. It's been 66 years since I first came in the fire department. I've been retired 28 years. I almost quit the fire department 25 times. And 5 times I was as serious as a heart attack. There's a lot of racism, separation, and nepotism in the fire department that kind of turned me around. But God had my back. I stayed. And my intent was never to be fire chief. I just wanted a good paying job. But over the years, I became chief, and I stayed in the fire department 38 years, 11 and a half years. I was chief of the department. I recruited over half of the Black firefighters in the fire department. But initially, when the firefighters first came in, we had meetings at my house, my home, and my wife did the cooking, and we had lunch or breakfast here and talked about the problems, talked about how to correct them. And I always told them, there's a rattlesnake under every rock, but you can't kill every rattlesnake. Let's get the rattlesnake that's threatening you. And we formed a Black Firefighters organization. And once we got so many guys that we couldn't be eating at my house for lunch or breakfast, we started going to restaurants. And we got separated, and we never could carry on conversations there. We eventually went on to the Urban League and other organizations, and we started going there. But my father, who lives in D.C., had a friend, his brother wanted a friend of his son to come and live there while he's going to Howard University. When I visited my home in D.C., he told me all about the St. Louis Fire Department, how they operate, how they bought apartments and things of that nature. So I came back and I told the guys, let's buy an apartment. They turned me down on that, but one guy, Robert Davis, said, well, let's buy a house, and he bought a house. So we were paying for mortgage on the house. We were before the federal Supreme Court in Washington, D.C. on affirmative action.
Certification?
Yes. And we were paying two bills, so we had to increase the donations that we made every month so we could pay for the house, the mortgage on the house, and pay the attorneys that were back in Washington, D.C. We finally won both. We finally paid off. We paid the attorney, and we moved on. And it's kind of like a church. I was the first president, and as I moved up the rank, I had to do a lot of fire department work, so I couldn't concentrate on the necessary work that the Black Firefighter president and organization had to do. So I think Clarence Williams was next in line. So I moved on to him. The house and everything, all of that property, the taxes and whatnot, was paid by the Clarence, keeping an eye on the money that we paid every month. Then
Chief, we have well, let's hear from Don Taylor is on the phone, and he's been holding it for a while.
I'm gonna end it up real quick. The fire department has a lot of core values: integrity, teamwork, compassion, courage, and diversity. And we're starting to lose some of these values with our active Black firefighters. I'm not talking about white firefighters. I'm talking about Black firefighters. We need to start to come back to these core values and come together as a family. Okay, you can go ahead with Don.
Okay,
Taylor.
thank you. Okay, Don Taylor, and then we'll go to Yohannes, and then we'll come back to Roberto.
Okay, yeah. Basically, when I came on the department in 1968, and I retired in 1999, and I did 32 years, and I retired as assistant chief over the operations division. And I just want to echo all that's been said so far, and I concur with all that has gone on. Number one, though, I would just like to reiterate is that MOU. I thought that was significant, and for them to ignore that, I think was irresponsible.
So are you satisfied to date with the judge's rulings, Don?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And if you had to encourage people in the community to support you, how could they do that?
Oh, wow. They can do that in various ways, but number one is to communicate that with others that they know in the community to kind of spread the word. And also, I guess I have to say that while the courts, they have to take care of our attorney for this last motion, but actually we have incurred some other finances that we have to pay our attorney. So if we can get support with that, that would be wonderful, because we've been with this for a few years now, and it's starting to stack up on us.
Okay, Don Taylor, thank you very much. Yohannes, you have to leave right now or what?
Yeah, I have 5 minutes. I'll just say, I mean, there's such
Then
a
we'll go
rich,
to Roberto and Charles Gill and Cardell. Go ahead.
yeah, I mean, there's such a rich history here. My heart are with my clients here. This feels like a fight that's definitely worth fighting. It's very sad that a few individuals led by Doug Johnson have decided to disrespect them and to cause all these problems. But I will say this is a blessing in disguise, because what has happened is there's been a lot more attention and energy brought into the organization from both retired and active firefighters, employed firefighters. And I am confident now that we have the funds to develop not only that house, but that whole block, that whole double lot. That's what's going to happen here. And that is the blessing in disguise. Of course, that takes money, and we have funding sources lined up, but it also takes a treasurer. So we need to know where the money's at and have access to the account. Gregory Dean, Chief Gregory Dean, the second black firefighter in Seattle, sorry, second black fire chief in Seattle,
Right.
ran to be the treasurer this past June. And they said, apparently, the defendant said he lost by one vote to this person who just resigned. We know that's a lie. We know he actually won. But even taking their word for it, he should be the treasurer right now. Grady Poole ran for president. He should be president. He won the election against Doug Johnson this past June. I believe all of those board members should follow the lead of Hilton Jones and just resign. You're in contempt of court. You're being sanctioned. You've caused a lot of problems with the legal sale of this house. You should just resign, and we should restore order, restore the house to the Seattle Black Firefighter Association, and develop that block, that corner.
Thanks. Now let's go to another past president, Roberto Jordan, who also had his hands in the pot. So we know what's cooking. So go right ahead, Roberto.
Yeah, so I came in 73 and was there until 2020. So I did 41 years in the fire department, came out as a lieutenant. And I would just say this. With Yohannes, I just like to give Yohannes his flowers. When he came in and when you talked to him and got him caught up on the significance of the organization, caught up on the significance of the house. And I mean, he knew about the black firefighters, and he knew because he was with Lem Howell, and so he was an understudy of Lem Howell, so he knew about us. But he's been fighting for this thing. He's been fighting for this thing like it's his family. And I mean, he just keeps coming with it. But on the other side, you have somebody that was relentless trying to take the house and sell it and everything else like that in an attempt, I think, to destroy the organization. Doug Johnson there's people on the other side that would say things about the house, the organization. They had no idea what they were talking about. They had only been in 4 or 5 years. So they were going off of what Doug Johnson was telling them. And for the people that knew about the history in the house and retired black firefighters, they were kept in the dark about everything. And so when the judge gives her ruling on the first one, and they just totally disrespected the judge and her ruling by doing the opposite of what she deemed the organization to do, which is the reason why they got sanctioned the way that they did. And so yeah, it's not going to be that easy for a treasurer just to say, okay, I quit, and now you don't have any responsibility anymore for anything that went on. No, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. And you can't quit yet. So once you get through with this case and everything that you have to do for your organization and our organization, then maybe you can go ahead and quit. We have a GoFundMe that's out there so that we can try to pay Yohannes. I mean, the guy's worth all the money. And if you guys could go to it's on Facebook. It's Save the Historic Black Firefighter House. That's where we are on Facebook. And the GoFundMe is there. So you can contribute. Everything helps. everything helps. The more, the better, right? So we just like to thank the community for standing behind us and supporting us, whether in court, whether on Facebook, whether in prayers, whatever, any way that you support it. We appreciate that. And we will continue to, we will try to restart the relationship that we have with the Black community. That was a strong one before this president, Doug Johnson, was in charge. Thank you very much.
I see Curtis has joined us. Mr. Gaden.
Yes, sir. Hey, pleasure to be on here. As Roberta was saying, our attorney worked very hard on this case, and our work is not in it. We still have a lot of work to do, and most of all, we have work to try to come together with the active firefighter and the retired firefighter. We should try to be more harmonized going forward, and we need to reach out to each other to make sure that we are transparent with each other to make this organization more visible in the community, as in the past where we was involved with the community, and we just want to make sure that this historic place will stay in place long after we are gone. And I like to thank the community for backing us up and supporting us, and the retired firefighter that worked so hard and diligent with their time and finance. I appreciate it, and God love you, and we thank you for your blessing. And I think our big blessing is on the way, because we earnestly tried to work with the active firefighter. We didn't try to use them any form or fashion. We showed nothing but love, but there was so much misunderstanding, and then I hope we can understand each other as we go forward. And thank you again for your assistance and duly support, Mr. Eddie Rye. We appreciate you. And you've been with us practically from the beginning, and we thank you very much. And I just hope and pray that we'll just continue to move forward. Thank you.
And thank you very much, Curtis Gaden. And to do that, Clarence Williams, people need to have the Cash App.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely.
And mine just says full name. I was going to share it, but that's not the one I sent it to. So what is the Cash App?
The Cash App is $ NWARBFF. That's Northwest Association of Retired Black Firefighters. And the money will go
$NWARBF.
BFF, two Fs.
Two Fs. Okay, I want to make sure that I get this on Facebook and everywhere else, and I will share it with a whole bunch of folks after the program today.
Absolutely.
So
Eddie, while I'm talking, just two couple things I'd like to just point out. One, when you read the article in the Times today that was there, the attorney said that they plan to appeal the judge's decision. Well, one of the things they have to realize that once our membership is restored with this order, we believe it is, we will have to vote whether or not we want to appeal any such decision. And the general consensus is that we will not, but we will have the right to vote, that they can't deny us again. So that may be null and void as to what he's saying. Secondly, not all active firefighters support that leadership of
active Black firefighters.
Yeah, active. There are some active Black firefighters like Erwin Chappelle and others who do not support Doug Johnson, Juliana, Drew Andrews, and Chris Doctor, and that's their board. And they're the ones who've been making all of the decisions, and the decisions have not been representative of the membership. So
are there pictures on Facebook? Do people know who they are?
No, we working on that. I'm gonna have
Okay,
to
I'm
keep.
just curious. I just think that, you guys have put in all this work and you got this house. The house is now, could be lost if you guys in the community didn't stand up.
Hmm.
So I think it's good for people to know who we're dealing with. So, but anyway, we got 1 minute left.
Okay.
I just want to know if Charles Gill or Roberto, anybody got a closing statement? We got about 1 minute. Roberto,
Yep. Okay, what we would also like to thank Converge Media,
right?
who along with you, Converge Media, Africa Town, were in there right from the start, encouraging us, making sure that the word got out to the community. Your show, Eddie, that I mean, the this is like the old days. Remember when all this stuff would be happening? The only way we knew about what was really going on was looking at the facts or the medium and
KYAC,
yep. And so now KYAC, so now the only
KRIZ now,
KRIZ, the only way we get this stuff
and
out now
1150
is
AM KKNW now.
there you go. There you go. So now Converge, Africa Town, White King was big in this, and it was. We want to thank them wholeheartedly. Make sure that we don't leave them out. If I leave somebody out, blame it on my head, not my heart, because we needed all the help that we got to make
Okay, well,
sure that everybody got it.
I want to thank Curtis Gayton, Charles Gill, Don Baylor, Clarence Williams, Roberto Jordan, and Claude Harris. We're going to move on now to the Black African American Legislative Day, which will be happening on the 17th in Olympia. And my next guest is the president of A.Philip Randolph Institute, Gabriel Prawl. So, Gabriel, I guess you know what's on the agenda now. And I don't know if this will be part of the agenda for the African American Legislative Day, but I think it'd be very appropriate for us to have a little time to try to shake some things, raise some money. There might be a lot of people who are really active and want to see success in the African American community, might be willing to assist these brothers in making sure we retain that iconic landmark in the central area of Seattle. So, Gabriel Prawl, welcome to Mother's Justice Show. I'm sitting in for Reverend Harriett Walden, as you know, and you have a lot to say about what's coming up in a matter of fact, 2 weeks from today. So go right ahead, Gabe.
Thank you, Eddie. Gabriel Prawl, president of A.Philip Randolph Seattle chapter, and also past president of ILW Local 52. And just before I jump into this, I just wanted to tap into what that showed that just the brothers that just spoke just now. I want people to understand that the Black firefighters are a labor group. I mean, they're union members as well, and they're part of the labor movement. So, as being part of the African American Longshore Coalition, I want to be able to be involved in this, and even more as A.Philip Randolph, because I think labor needs to be so right behind the brothers on this, because this is an attack on workers, it's an attack on our community, and attack on working people. But of course, Eddie, I would like to mention that subject at Legislative Day, and that's on President Day, February 17th, at the Capitol. It's been a long, it's over 20 plus years that we've been doing African American Legislative Day, and there was a reason for this, is to be able to open the doorway, Black in our community, and can have a voice at the Capitol, because we know before that we was going up there, and we wasn't, as we've continued to fight today, we wasn't getting much. Black community was getting 1% or less than 1%. We are able to rise up a little bit more, but now we have our administration right now in place that wants to take us back. So I want people to know that you can get on, you can reach APRI at contact at APRI Seattle .com, or you can get on our website at APRI Seattle .org. You can see some of the work that we've been doing, because we've been doing a whole lot. But one of the main things that I want to focus on, because as we move forward into 2025, and we have the new administration trying to implement the 2025 campaign to eliminate everything that Blacks have fought for, They are taking out Juneteenth. They are taking out Black History Month and everything. So we got bills, and one of the things that we focus in, what our priority are these bills that are got to do with criminal justice. There's a whole lot of criminal justice bill that needs to be supported to make sure that we don't have to deal with the George Floyd that we dealt with in 2020 and Breonna Taylor and issues like that. Right. So I have a list of bills that we're gonna be putting up on our website. There's too many of them to even talk about right now on your show because it's not enough time. But I'll highlight some of it.
We'll have you back on because we want to hear about the agenda, and I know you're putting it together. So we definitely want to hear about you the Thursday before on my program, the Thursday before the 17th. I think that's about the 13th of the 13th. So that way I know you'll have more things in terms of the actual and I don't know, you could have them now, the agenda for the day. I don't know if you have all that put together yet with all the presenters and speakers. And if you don't, like I said,
we still
another opportunity to do that as well.
Yeah, we're still working on it, trying to put everything in place because there's so much on the agenda. I'm looking at so much things that we have to focus on. Rent stabilization. We got to focus on bills that are gonna really focus on. Try to stop them from cutting the health and human service. I mean, there's one of the things too I've been paying very much attention is the fact that we've been cut off from many things, and then you and I discussed that probably a couple of days ago, Eddie, about the reparation issue. We got a King County reparation issue and we got a statewide reparation issue, and with all the attack on blacks and the rollback of all the fight and the executive order that A.Philip Randolph himself fought to bring into reality, we have to be pushing everything that we need to push to make sure that we don't get turned back or left back. And one of those things are calling for a reparation for the enslaved people. Right. And I went over that bill with you. I mean, that bill that you sent, bill that you got, I believe is right now is in a draft because you haven't got it put out yet as a bill number, correct?
Yeah, there is some debate because of the fact that the 1,092 delegates voted for a resolution to have the governor sign an executive order to establish a commission, which would be the Charles Mitchell Commission. Charles Mitchell was a 13-year-old African American who was brought back to the Washington Territory in the Olympia, Washington area by a slave master from Maryland. And I started communicating with some African American brothers who were running the steamboat from Victoria, BC, and they talked him into jumping on the steamboat. And then his owner filed a lawsuit. When he first got there, he was put in jail. And then when they had the trial, the judge says, "We don't believe in observed slavery in Canada, and that's why the fugitive slaves would escape to Canada, and that shows we had a Puget Sound Underground Railroad." And the judge said, "You're a free boy." And there are two ladies that did a book called Free Boy. Also, in Olympia, the mayor Dante Payne was able to get a unanimous vote from the city council to support the Charles Mitchell Commission. And so it's in the hands of the legislative, the Black Members Caucus of the state legislature right now. There's some debate about if the bill is too strong or if it's not going to be accepted, but I'm supporting the bill as is written. And hopefully we'll have someone from the Black Members Caucus sponsor the bill as is. That might not be the case. But also I want to share that A.Philip Randolph is near and dear to my heart because Eddie Rice Sr., my father, was a Pullman porter and a member of the only union that a black man could belong to, and that was the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters. And in 1948, after A.Philip Randolph tried to get his older brothers who were Pullman porters to come out to Seattle to be one of the Northwest organizer for the union, they said, "Our kids are in Southern University and Eddie's kids in grade school. If something happened to them, we could take care of them." So we moved out here in 1952. So A.Philip Randolph is real near dear to my heart because of the fact my father was the Northwest organizer for the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters, a union founded by A.Philip Randolph. So I like to share that story because it is Black History Month too, brother.
Yes, I'm glad you tap into that, Eddie, because last year we did APRI Seattle joined with the African American Longshore Coalition. We did something historical. We did starting in 2020. We organized put forward a resolution for our Labor Juneteenth celebration on the waterfront, where the ILW will shut down the waterfront on Juneteenth. Okay. And it's been very successful, and we put it into our contract negotiation. Every year, the ILW shuts down the port for 8 hours. First shift, Juneteenth. Every longshoreman gets time and a half pay. Holiday pay for that, plus time and a half pay if they work the second shift on. But the real interesting thing about that, APRI has played a role as being the fiscal sponsor at that Juneteenth event. And last year, we did an international Juneteenth event with Huggins Halley. And Huggins Halley is in Canada. Huggins Halley is the exact place where people that was going on the Underground Railroad from the Puget Sound. That's the place that they end up being, because it was a neighborhood that was diverse, and a lot of Black people was living in that neighborhood. People of color, and also there was a stop for the Sleeping Car Porters Union. So we joined with that organization, the Huggins Halley Association, and we did a Juneteenth, an international Juneteenth, where we had workers came from, longshoremen came from all over the world, all different places, starting from Alaska, Canada. I would say they came from many places, including the whole West Coast. And also, one of the things that the ILW funded this whole event, but APRI played a role of really doing the presentation and also catering for the whole event.
Okay, well, Gabriel, I'm going to have you on Urban Forum on the 13th, but right now I want to thank you for what you're doing. We'll get all the details about the event on the African American Legislative Day on the 13th. By then, we'll have the agenda filled. So thank you very much for the time today, and keep up the good work.
Thank you, Eddie.
Okay.
The Mother's Justice Show is brought to you by H.G. Walden and the Virtues Healing Circles. Join us for Wisdom and Wellness with Reverend Walden, a monthly virtual and in-person healing circle that focuses on community healing and growth. Learn more at virtueshealing.com. That's virtueshealing.com. Also, be sure to join our healing group on Facebook. Again, visit us at virtueshealing.com today.
Self-help, healing, spirituality, and more on Alternative Talk, 1150.
All right, Eddie Rye back at Mother's Justice Show, sitting in for Reverend Harriett Walden. And my next guest is the president of the Washington State chapter of the National Association of Minority Contractors, Bob Armstead. There's a meeting coming up on Thursday at 5 o'clock, and he has a very interesting guest that you might want to check out. So go right ahead, Bob.
Thank you very much, Eddie. Very interesting and informative show, and I hope there's a great audience out there listening and will be responding. The National Association of Minority Contractors is the oldest trade association for minorities and women in the United States. We are currently in our 56th year. The organization started in 1969. The relationship with Seattle precedes that by 2 years. It actually started in 1967. We are and have been participating and promoting and advocating for our businesses for 56 years. We've done that with administrations that were helpful and supportive of our businesses. And we've done it through administrations that have not been helpful and supportive of our businesses. We are in a period now where it appears that this administration will not be helpful and supportive, but we have survived and prospered regardless of administrations. And there's a lot of emphasis right now on the things that the federal government is not doing and will not be doing. The National Association of Minority Contractors is participating in defending those programs through lawsuits in Kentucky and Washington, D.C. and other places. But what we're also doing is helping our members and communities to understand that although some programs and opportunities are going away, there are others. And we need to concentrate on what's available, not what is going away or might not be available. We have our monthly meeting for February the 6th, this coming Thursday, from 5 to 6:30 p.m. And our presenters at that meeting will be talking about not the past, but the present and the future. How we can position ourselves to take advantage of opportunities that are not going away. Our first presenter will be Wendell Stimley, our national president. He will talk about the lawsuits that we're involved in to protect programs like the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program at the Department of Transportation and other opportunities where we are involved with, as you know, as you've been involved for the last 40 years, Eddie, with MBLDEF. We have provided funding to MBLDEF to join in to a number of those suits, and he will briefly discuss that.
MBLDEF is a minority business, what's MBLDEF? Minority Business Enterprise Legal Defense and Education Fund.
Yes.
My good friend Anthony Robinson, our good friend Anthony Robinson was a leader for quite a while.
Yes.
Okay, how can people access the meeting? How can people access the meeting?
You can access our meeting by going to namcwa.com, which is our website. Access to the meeting is on the front page of the website. All you have to do is to activate that prompt, and it will bring you directly into the meeting.
Okay, thanks, Bob. And I will talk to you a little later this afternoon.
Okay, thanks for the opportunity, Eddie.
Okay, thank you. My next guest is Hayward Evans, the co-convener of the Seattle Martin Luther King Jr. County Commemoration, Continuation, and Commemoration Committee, MLKCC. There's an event coming up on after the African American Legislative Day that will be held at Holgate Street Church of Christ on Martin Luther King Jr. Way. I think it starts at 5:30. So Hayward Evans, give us the details.
Well, first, thank you for having me, Eddie. On behalf of the Martin Luther King Jr. Commemoration Continuation Committee, which came from Reverend Steve Baber, when him and Reverend Smith planted that seed with us. I think it's absolutely fantastic.
Reverend Dr. Linda Smith,
Reverend Dr. Linda Smith,
Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Baptist Church in Renton. Very good man, a very activist, and a real good organizer. Go right ahead, Hayward.
Thank you. And that sort of speaks to everything. This is the 7th anniversary that the Martin Luther King Jr. Commemoration Committee hosts its annual award ceremony. Again, it's the 17th President's Day at Holgate Street Church, and that's 2600 South Holgate Street in Seattle, just 2 blocks north of Martin Luther King Park, across the street from the tennis center. This year, and if I can just share with the listenership, this year, unlike the past 7 years, we weren't able to light Martin Luther King Park because of some vandalism that took place. When we went up there with the company that was installing the lights for Black History Month, in honor of Black History Month, we light the park. Well, all the electrical outlets were vandalized, were stolen. And
Hayward, how much does it cost to have? We got to have the MLK Jr. Memorial Civil Rights Park lit up for Black History Month. What would it cost to have the lights up and with the replacing all the stuff that was stolen? And I think Clarence Williams had a good idea by putting some cameras in the trees so we can see who's doing the stealing. But what would it cost and how long would it take? Because we should have the park lit up. We've been doing it for the last 6 years. The seventh year, we will not have the park lit up. And I think that's unfortunate. So give us an idea what it would cost.
I'm in total agreement with you. And we have the Andrew Schaefer with the Parks Department now. They're doing the research to find out what it's going to cost. But I just want to encourage the listenership to call their elected officials and demand that this is an urgent repair so that trees could be lit before the end of September, before the end of Black History Month. We should have that park in place. And to continue with it, the Martin Luther King Jr. Commemoration Committee, MLKCC, is proposing we form an organization like other people do, Friends of Martin Luther King Jr. Civil Rights Memorial Park, to help protect and preserve, this historic space. We have to take responsibility as well.
Now, Hayward, you say call elected officials. Is this in the 37th legislative district?
I'm saying 37th legislative district is just part of it.
I'm just saying we got to tell people. Now. The senator is Rebecca Saldana. The representatives are Chapalo Street and Sharon Tomiko Santos. It's in it's County Councilmember Gurmai's district, and it might be has it been Joy Hollingsworth's district? Or wait a minute, it might be
Solomon.
Solomon, okay. So then the mayor is Bruce Harrell, and the county executive is Dow Constantine. So we got to have some people knowing who to call. All these people are easily accessible. You can find out who they are. If they have a commitment to Black History Month, we know what's been said from the White House, but this is a different house out here because this is also Martin Luther King Jr. County. So I really think that, once again, the representatives and senator from the district is Rebecca Saldana, and I know they're busy in Olympia right now, but we have needs too, and some of our needs are urgent. We're not going to let anybody put Black History Month on the back burner. Some people are trying to do that already, and we're not going for it. And then Chapalo Street and Representative Sharon Tomiko Santos are the state representatives. And in terms of the city council, I think that's new council member Solomon, who was really instrumental in getting Jefferson Park, the golf complex name for Bill Wright. It's the Bill Wright Golf Complex at Jefferson Park. Brother Solomon was very instrumental in getting that done. So, Hayward, is there a contact number information people can get with you on to pursue these donations or contributions to get this thing done?
They can contact me at 206-778-6357. That's 206-778-6357. But also, let me just add to this. It goes beyond the 37th district. The Martin Luther King Jr. Civil Rights Memorial Park is for everyone in the state of Washington. So don't feel like just a 37th district. Please call your local representative. This embraces the entire civil rights movement as it relates to the state of Washington. So everybody, I think it's for everybody.
Okay, with that, thanks much for that. We'll give an update on every Thursday as well. But I want to thank Attorney Yohannes Sium, past president of the Seattle Black Firefighters, Clarence Williams, Roberto Jordan, Curtis Gayden, Charles Gill, Don Taylor, Cardell Thompson, who's also a plaintiff, Chief Claude Harris, and want to thank Gabriel Prawl, Barb Armstead, and you, Hayward Evans, for being on the Mother's Justice Show today. Thank you. Want to let everybody know Clarence gave a shout out to Converge. Omari Salisbury's mother is Reverend Harriett Walden, and you're on her program right now. So thank you very much, Eric, and we'll talk to you on Thursday.
At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.